Happy New Year 2023. Hello, my lovely peaches. It's me, your favorite lovely peachy creator, back with another video. And this time it's also about Britney Spears again. But this time I'm not going to be talking about possible where is she stuff. This is just a video continuing on my recommendations of 3 specific lawyers that I love on YouTube who specifically talk about Britney Spears' cases. It's not the only thing that they talk about. They talk about a lot of cases, but I believe these lawyers are extremely and exceptionally fair, unbiased, and professional. So I'm going to do a floating head commentary, but really mostly I'm just going to play a few clips so you can get a gist of who they are. First up is Natalie Lawyer Chick.
I wanted to talk to you guys about this whole Britney Spears situation where the allegation is being made that Jamie Spears, her father, during the course of the conservatorship, was tapping her phone, bugging her hotel rooms, and basically spying on her during the course of the conservatorship. Yeah, let me know what you guys are.
This is everything you need to know to understand the Britney Spears conservatorship up to now. Let's get into it. True. Let us know in the comments below. Anyway, so here's what happened after the hearing. First off, the person who's been Britney's manager for pretty much her entire career decided to withdraw as her manager. In a statement that he sent to Britney's attorney and to her father, he basically said that he understands that Britney has effectively retired, and she's made that very well known that she intends to retire, and so his services are no longer needed. Now, second, that co-conservator of her estate, the Bessemer Trust Company, they decided to withdraw as a co-conservator. Makes a lot of business sense. Third, Jody Montgomery filed a petition to the court requesting that the Britney Spears estate be able to pay for extra costs that just spiked as a result of the hearing for security. Basically, Jody Montgomery and her associates were getting all kinds of threats to their bodies and to their lives as a result of what came out during that hearing. Jamie Spears fought against that, saying that that's just the cost of doing business with Britney Spears, but all of that was to be resolved on July 14th. Now, before we get into the July 14th hearing, there is one more detail that is very, very important, and that is the request by Samuel D. Ingham III to the court to withdraw from the case. Now, after Ingham's request to withdraw, Britney requested to have her own chosen attorney represent her, and the person she chose was Matthew Rosengart. He's a sheriff.
Those are just some of the highlights from Legal Bites, Alita. Obviously, I cannot play all the stuff that these people are creating, but I just wanted to give you a quick glimpse of Natalie Lawyer Chick and Alita, Legal Bites. Follow them if you want to watch those videos and see what it's all about, what they said. So this is Emily, and now I'm going to play a few minutes of Emily. I just wanted to have a clip of Natalie Lawyer Chick and Alita, so you can just see their faces and get a sense, a couple seconds sense of who they are. Now, this is Emily. She's my favorite. And I saw one user, maybe 2, I don't remember for sure, say something about Emily's marketing. Somebody is linked to somebody who's shady. And so because of that, they're like, oh, I hate her. I don't know if they've ever actually listened to her and if they're just jumping to a conclusion. I don't know. I can like somebody's content and then they don't like the content of somebody else that I like, and that's fine, you know, because we're not in kindergarten and you don't have to be like, oh, you don't like them, well then I don't like them. I highly recommend Emily D. Baker. I think she's incredibly fair. In the live stream I did, I talked all about how she was incredibly fair in the Johnny Depp trial that she covered. So that's my opinion about Emily D. Baker. Of course, if I learned something else, I'm open and willing to change my opinion, because I'm a growth mindset person, not a fixed mindset person. So I have opinions, and new facts, new evidence can alter that. But I highly recommend her. She's amazing. She's fair. She's bright. She's funny. And she likes cursey words. I just base it on everything I've heard her say. I've listened to hours of this woman, and she seems extremely fair. So here are some thoughts while she's reading some court documents. So first up is dealing with the fuckery of Lynn Spears trying to get money from Britney's estate.
The first thing we are looking at is a motion to withdraw related to my least favorite motion ever that comes right before the hearing on October 26th. So we're going all the way back to October 24th, 2022, filed by the attorneys for Lynn Spears, withdrawal of Lynn Spears's petition for payment of attorney's fees and cost advanced. Y'all, the fact that Lynn Spears even filed a motion for attorney's fees blew my mind. I yelled and yelled. I can't believe it at all. I can't believe it literally. How do you think you're entitled to attorney's fees? You're not the conservator. You don't work for the conservator. I will link the videos of me ranting about this motion down below. And I think what Britney Spears doesn't need is the public being more invasive into what was going on that is private and medical. The public is entitled to what Britney shares and what she chooses to share, but she shouldn't be exposed by her father and his lawyer with documents that are already under fucking seal.
Okay, so we do want to know what's going on with Britney, but we want to know what she wants us to know. And what Emily is saying here is her father and his lawyer does not have the right to drag Britney and to humiliate Britney and to bring out all some private shit that she does not want brought out. What Emily is saying is Britney has the right to tell us what she wants to, but she also has the right to keep private what the fuck she wants to.
Just my opinion. And I think when they try to embarrass Britney, that they are also trying to force her attorney to do or not do something against James. It feels, what's the right word? Manipulative. Yeah, it feels manipulative to me.
Me too.
Please take note that on January 11th, 2023, or as soon thereafter, Britney Jean Spears hereby moves the court for an order compelling the deposition testimony of James P. Spears pursuant to California Code of Civil Procedure. Good grounds for good cause exist that he refused to answer at his August 11th, 2022 deposition, and then it is redacted about what he refused to answer. So there is quite a bit of this that will be redacted that we can't go over, but at least we get a little bit about what was going on at this deposition back in August. It says, further, based on Mr. Spears' disjointed, incomplete, and deficient production of documents at his August 11, 2022 deposition, Ms. Spears also respectfully requests leave to take a second day of deposition in accordance with the penal code. It then says Ms. Spears' counsel has made several good faith attempts to resolve these disputes informally, but Mr. Spears refused to agree to the relief requested, which did not include sanctions, necessitating this motion. And then we get into the motion. The headings of this are really the previous dispute and Mr. Spears' failure to appear for deposition. The present dispute, Mr. Spears' refusal to answer questions at deposition and produce documents in a usable, reasonable format for questioning. And then the legal argument supporting those, including why he and counsel should be sanctioned for necessitating this motion. That is separate than being sanctioned for trying to introduce sealed documents into the record by way of exhibits attached to a motion. So 2 issues there for sanctions.
So last night on a live TikTok, one of the creators I follow was talking about receiving documents, sealed documents from the court, and wondering if she didn't go over the documents or anything, but she was trying to discover if someone could receive sealed documents and have them unsealed. And that's another reason why I really wanted to make this video, because you cannot unseal documents unless you are granted a court order to unseal the document that the court sealed. So just like this whole idea that there's this confidential marriage certificate out there for Britney and Sam, and it says Wasam instead of Hassam, and I see all these people talking about it. And the fact is that if it's a confidential marriage certificate, then nobody has access to it except the bride, the groom, or a court-ordered, a lawyer putting forth a motion to court order, then the court allowing a third party to request this confidential marriage certificate through a court order. No freaking fan out there, no Britney Spears, free Britney fan is going to have access to that just because they fucking wanted to. And if they're producing a document that is obviously not producible, then guess what? It's fake. It's fake. Okay, that's why I was saying, that's why here she's saying Jamie Spears and his lawyer are trying to get sealed documents unsealed by trying to submit them as evidence for some other thing. And she's saying, Emily, the lawyer, she's saying you can't do that. You can't do that. So some internet sleuth is not going to be able to uncover and unseal court documents that you literally, the freaking lawyer in the case can't unseal it because it's not legal. The court granting permission to see this confidential document via a court order. Another thing, like somebody on TikTok was like kept commenting back to me about how court documents are public. This person kept saying if there was a confidential wedding certificate, then it would be a sealed court document and you would be able to see that they had a sealed court document. Even if, this person was trying to say, even if you can't see what the document is, even if you couldn't see what the document was, you'd be able to see that there was a sealed court document. And I tried to explain to this person who was dead set on not understanding it, that a confidential marriage certificate is not a sealed court document. A sealed court document is a document that was part of a court case that was sealed for privacy. Wedding certificates are not court documents. They are legal paperwork that gets filed with the registrar, filed with the public health, filed at the municipal court, but not in a court docket because it's not a court case. A confidential marriage certificate is not a court document. A court document means there was a case. Another thing that I've seen way too many freaking creators repeating is that a confidential marriage certificate means that the bride doesn't have to be present and that they could marry Britney Spears off confidentially without her knowledge or consent. And that is such a fucking lie. That is not what a confidential marriage certificate means. This is what drives me crazy about getting involved in trying to figure out what's going on with Britney, is that there are so many people who are just regurgitating bullshit lies. And one person puts it out and then it just spreads like wildfire. It's just this, it's gossip mongering as well. And, I don't even bother with either P. Hilton at this point. At one point I really started liking Paris. I thought she was really funny and stuff, but the more I kind of learn about her, the less I like her. I'm just interested in the truth and the legal aspects of it. I want to hear from Britney Spears herself. It's great that people are interested in trying to, decode and decrypt and figure out messages. But the fact that, I don't know for sure who's writing the messages. For me, trying to decode messages that I don't even know for sure are from her specifically, that I'm not interested in that. So one of the reasons I wanted to make this is because it's getting annoying watching, part of it I get it. There are conspiracy theorists who are going to spin off every freaking idea that they can. There are people who are like, oh, I can decode her encrypted messages, and they believe that they know what the fuck she's talking about, when the fact is you don't even know if it's her. You don't know if it's Britney Spears posting cryptic captions. You don't know if it's her team posting captions to try to make her look crazy. You don't know. You don't know if it's app traffickers pushing messages out because they're making millions of dollars using her account. Like, there are so many layers, and you really don't know. But just to clarify, I'm not throwing any shade at any creators who make content about Britney Spears, and specifically people who believe that the captions are cryptic messages from her and they work on decoding them. Some of that shit could be really true. And I do believe that Britney Spears has not been able to communicate as openly as, we would think. Like, hey, why don't you just say, hey, help me, help me, help me? And I feel like she did say, help me, help me, help me. And then the media said she's free, and then she's not free. So thank you to the people who take the time, who have the time, who really deep dive into that. And maybe they really are uncovering some mysterious cryptic messages. Maybe they really do understand what she's saying. Maybe Britney Spears, really is sometimes posting. I don't know. It's such a mystery. That's part of why it's got me so invested, because it is such a mystery. Is she posting? What do those captions mean? Are they really just cryptic messages from her, or what? So I'm just popping in this little thing to say thank you. Thank you for all the creators who are taking the time to do that. I don't agree with it all, obviously. It's like some people are like, no, she's absolutely not posting. Some people are like, yes, she absolutely is posting. I'm a little bit in the middle of like, maybe she is, maybe she isn't, maybe sometimes, maybe I don't know. I'm just like totally in the I don't know question marks floating everywhere. So it is helpful that some people do take the time to try to decode, because if she really is writing captions and they really are cryptic messages and they really can be decoded, then that's helpful. So there's that. For me, going down the path of corruption and uncovering all of the names and the links of all the people who are into trafficking and all that stuff, that's not for me. Okay, I've got young children, I've got a life, I'm just a small creator. I just want to be like healthy and wealthy and abundant. But I'm not looking to be mega rich. I'm not looking to be mega famous. I don't want to be famous in any way. I just want to be respected by the people who appreciate my content, my work, my art, and so forth. And I'd like to be financially stable. I'd like to be wealthy, but I'm not interested in mega wealth. And I'm certainly not looking for a lot of attention. But I do love to share the messages that come through me that I want to share. I'm not looking for tons of Britney Spears followers to, glom onto me. That's not my path in life is not about Britney Spears. My path is about mental health, emotional health, well-being. And I did get interested in her. I am interested in her, and I'm making content, and I just feel compelled to make this, to say, stop spreading bullshit about confidential marriage certificates, meaning that, a bride can get married without her presence or her knowledge. That is not true. Not in the United States anyway. It might be true elsewhere, but it is not true here. Also, you can't have access to sealed court documents unless you went through the court system and you got granted permission through the court. Also, a confidential marriage certificate is not a sealed court document. It's a confidential marriage certificate. It's a confidential license. It's a confidential document that is not publicly accessible because it's confidential. So unless you're Britney Spears, the so-called person who's supposedly the husband, or someone who is granted access through petitioning an motion to court that you need to have access to this document, and you're granted access by the court, you don't have access to it. So if you see it floating around, online, guess what? It's probably fake. There are so many fake things out there. We know this. There's deep fakes. We know that. The people who want the team of people who want her in the conservatorship or in the care plan or whatever they're going to call it now, those people might be doing all kinds of stuff. I haven't seen or heard a video or a voice that sounded like Britney Spears saying, "Hey, it's me. Hey, Happy New Year 2023. It's January 1st, 2023. And I am here to say hello, and it's me, and I'm fine." She doesn't owe me that. She doesn't owe anyone that. But it is concerning to hear all of the testimony that she testified to and then for her to go quiet. However, as somebody who's interested in it, I only can go so far. And so the places that I go are to these lawyers, listening to what they know. And yeah, I'm interested in hearing some conspiracy theories, and I'm curious about it, and I've looked at her posts, and I've analyzed them myself, and I analyzed the wedding video, the so-called professional wedding video that was put out, and I did my own research. I'm still doing it, and that's what this video is about, to say, hey, continue doing your own research, but also look into the legal aspects of it. As far as I know, she has a case next date up in May of 2023. So as far as I'm concerned, we might not see her or hear from her until then. She doesn't have to. Like, my theory could lean towards maybe she has gotten away from those people and she's, living her life on the down low, and they have access to her socials because it's literally $1 billion marketing tool. So the Britney Spears brand team and the conservators and, all those people who were involved in the creation of Britney Spears outside of her, they probably all still have their hands in there, and they're likely regurgitating old content. And there's probably a variety of reasons and a variety of branches of where the content is going and what it's for and all that stuff, including the messages. So I don't even have the ability to even begin to try to pretend that I'm going to decode something that I don't even know who the fuck it's putting out. So I'm not even going to bother trying. I'll watch some of those videos because they're interesting, they're entertaining, but at the end of the day, it's all speculation. It's all speculation. So back to some Emily D. Baker talking about legal documents. Like, there are so many layers, and you really don't know. But if you want to know the actual legal stuff, this is my recommendation. Follow these lawyers, especially Emily. So this is a very long video. I watched most of it. Obviously, I cannot just play this woman's content and just play the whole thing. This one is about an hour and a half long. I took out about 6 minutes of it. I might cut it back a little bit, but I just wanted to give you a sense of what her videos are like and some of the points about this court case that she did talk about that I thought were interesting.
For sanctions. Courts are always so hesitant for sanctions, but we'll see. The court had words. I just like getting the transcripts. I think that Rosengard is also a snarky guy, and he just gets right into it, saying, although this court has previously given James P. Spears and his counsel the benefit of the doubt, even putting aside their bullying and harassment of Britney Spears, it is now crystal clear that they have also disrespected the court and abused the system, making a mockery of the rules and this court's expectation that they would act in good faith. I mean, they also kind of owe a duty of candor to the court under the rules, but we've seen how the California bar handles things. It goes on to say, in addition to falsely representing to the court on January 19th, 2022, that an illicit electronic surveillance, quote, didn't happen, Your Honor, end quote, and falsely and absurdly claiming that those allegations were somehow planted onto the front page of the New York Times, essentially every act by Mr. Spears and his counsel since his suspension has been antithetical to their professed goal of wrapping up Mr. Spears's final administrative duties as a fiduciary. That's fair. The amount of litigation that has gone on post conservatorship has been seemingly exorbitant. They say, and conclusively demonstrating that they are not entitled to another penny of Miss Spears's money, none of their acts, namely their profligate, mean-spirited, and belligerent attacks and motion practice, was designed to benefit the estate. All the words. He's bringing all of the words. He has nothing but smoke for James Spears. By way of illustration only, Mr. Spears and his new counsel first act after the conservatorship was terminated was to file a legally meritless and morally abominable petition for payment of fees on account on December 15th, 2021. What does that mean, Emily? Payment of fees on account means that they are advanced. Yes. Advanced from the conservatee, Britney's estate, and then the rest of them are approved once the accountings come in. So it's kind of like credit. You spend it now, at least, 80% of it on account, and then you get the rest of it when you submit your bills. Yeah, they ask to be paid on account. Yeah. Next, they chose to stonewall and obstruct discovery, even as they did so in contravention to Mr. Spears' ongoing fiduciary obligations.
So my understanding of what she's saying right there is that basically Jamie Spears continues to try to take money from Britney's account.
Ongoing fiduciary obligations. They abused the process, improperly trying to use these proceedings to quote unquote vindicate Mr. Spears. An obviously futile task. The shade is just sprayed all over this page. The shade isn't the massive tree. All of the shade. We have all of the shade in this motion. All of it.
She's talking about Rosengart shading Jamie Spears.
Massive tree. All of the shade. We have all of the shade in this motion. All of it. Trying to vindicate Mr. Spears, an obviously futile task. Filing no less than 8 expensive, meritless motions against Britney Spears.
And go ahead and follow her so you can watch her talk about all of this stuff. Also follow Alita Legal Bites, Natalie Lawyer Chick, Emily D. Baker. These are my recommendations and my reaction while I listen to some of this. See you in the next one.